Welcome to day 4 of the greatest list that ever was. Actually, to be perfectly honest, I went shopping for Christmas things today, and that's a list that contains like dips and breadsticks. So that's a pretty fucking good list that it's competing with. Should we get started? I think we should. Number 70. Age of Empires 2. Or as I like to know it, build a big fucking wall as fast as possible, the game. There's something, I don't know, about Age of Empires 2. I would kind of play it in the same way every time. I mean, I couldn't actually tell you if it's got a campaign or not, because I never got close to playing it. I would always play skirmish, and I would always play on islands, and I would always try and build a wall all the way around my island so nobody could drop units off and they had to attack with boats, and that would stall them so much that I could actually build up a useful thing. And that's the only way I could ever beat the harder difficulties, and pretty much the enemy would always get through my wall before I finished building it. And I'd always be sad. But it's a great game. It's one of the finest real-time strategy of all time. I've put an insane amount of hours into it. And, I don't know, just that feeling of going, I'm gonna lose, oh my god! Spawn the babies with guns! Number 69! Plants vs. Zombies! Back in the day where casual gaming wasn't really a swear word and making a game addictive meant making it compelling and not genuinely addictive and money leeching, Plants vs. Zombies is up there for the best casual game. It's just simple fun. It's a great tower defense and it's just so perfectly polished. On Metacritic, every review for it is green. Like, it's got like really high reviews, apart from one, and that's from Gaming XP, and I've never heard of them either. So clearly, anyone worth listening to likes Plants vs. Zombies. This may change when the inevitable feature film comes out, but you know, we'll update this list as the years go by. Number 68. Terraria. Terraria is the ultimate story of somebody taking an idea and running with it. I mean, because originally Terraria was like a 2D Minecraft clone. It was like, it's just Minecraft but 2D. And now it's like a never-ending, content-rich mega game that you can play for about 1,000 billion years and never actually see everything that's there. I mean, I still boot it up every now and then. I'm like, I'm going to build a little house. I'm going to dig down. What the fuck is this? Who are these people? What's happening? Why have I summoned a boss? Oh god, I've died. It's great. It's really good. It's a fine example of massive ambition performed so well. So well. It may not be a game changer, but it's very much a really good game stay of the samer. Number 67. Stacking. Possibly my favourite Double Fine world. And I mean, that's a big thing to say, because the thing that Double Fine does best is worlds. I mean, Brutal Legends, Rock World is spectacular, but stacking is a madman's idea. It's like Russian stacking dolls. Imagine if they all had different abilities and you could clump them together in different combinations to solve puzzles. It sounds like it was made like on a ZX Spectrum kind of game, and the front cover would be of a kangaroo with a boot strapped to its face or something. It sounds insane, and it plays pretty insane, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. It looks stunning, it plays stunning, and if you've not played it, find it and give it a go. It is one of the finest like little adventure games you'll ever play. Possibly the best adventure game of all time. Don't think I've got any more adventure games on this list, actually. The best adventure game of all time. Number 66. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. Whereas Soul Calibur 2 might be the better fighting game, I love Dragon Ball Z's approach to being series accurate, and I know that in most other games I'd kind of say that this was a bad thing, but in Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 you can have fights where from the outset you've already lost. Like, if you're Krillin up against Super Saiyan 4 Fusion Gogeta, forget about it, there's no way to win, that dude can just rip you a new one. But that meant that any time I was playing it with someone who wasn't a gamer or didn't know how the game worked, you could sort of balance the game yourself by giving them a stronger character and you taking a weaker character. And I think there's something absolutely fun about that. I also love that you could build the movesets for the characters that you wanted as you went through the story mode. I love flying around the 3D story world mode as well. This game got re-released on the PS3, I believe, in HD, with Budokai 1, which I don't think I've ever booted up. That's how good Budokai 3 is. Like, I've got a Dragon Ball Z game and I've just never booted it up. Even if you're not a fan of Dragon Ball Z, there's something really fun here. It's pure fun. I mean, it's never going to be taken as a serious, good fighting game, but as a silly, fun fighting game, top-notch stuff. Top-notch stuff. Also, it has moves in the game that literally destroy the entire landscape you're fighting in, so you're just battling in a burnt-out husk of a planet from then on. And more games need that, to be perfectly honest. Number 65. Hitman Blood Money. I've always argued that this is the pinnacle of the Hitman series, because it's that perfect Hitman balance of big explorable levels, but not too big, but weird. I mean, there are some levels in that game that are truly weird, so when they give you a really sane one, like A New Life, which is just in like a few houses in the suburbs, it feels really strange to just be in a normal place. Like, that is like where most other games are set, and when you finally get there, it's like, ugh, what's this? And you're kind of waiting for the hook or the hit, and there isn't one. It's just a house. I mean, yes, it's somebody under FBI house arrest, or like you've got to try. Oh, witness protection, isn't it? You've got to try and sneak through most of the time, just as a clown. But it's glorious. I mean, the Heaven and Hell Party level is the best Hitman level, and you can feed people to a shark in that game. And I love feeding people to sharks. With Hitman Blood Money, it's Shark Week every week. That's why. Is that a thing people want? Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Number 64. WWE 2K16. Technically, you could swap this one out for 2K17, but that would be breaking my No Recent Games one. But it's kind of the same game, just a little bit better. I love 2K16. I'd say that this is the best that WWE games have ever been, and I've been playing the games longer than I've been watching wrestling. Before they were sort of arcadey, matchy up, silly, jumping off of helicopters and doing lots of backstage stuff things. But now they're very sort of straight, serious simulators, but they're also amazing. I mean, you can customize your character, their entrance, every single one of their moves. Literally every single one of the moves and the buttons required to set them off. It is such a deep, complicated, wonderful game, and when you get the hang of it, it's so rewarding. Plus, it's got a career mode that lasts 11 million years, and totally worth the money. It's such a full... It's rich. It's a very rich, detailed, busy, full kind of game, and it's like a Christmas pudding filled with another Christmas pudding that gets thrown through a table. Number 63. Animal Crossing New Leaf. Animal Crossing is a series that you probably know. It's that game where nothing really happens. It's kind of like just tending to a little village. I love New Leaf the best because it made you mayor and it gave you like a few little mayor powers and you really get to control how the village works. But really, it's a game that you play for 20 minutes at the end of the day, just to calm down a little bit from the hectic chaos of the world. Just go to a little place where you can do a bit of fishing, do a bit of digging, do a bit of planting traps for the animal that you don't like. You know, it's a beautiful game. It's wonderful, it's cute, it's charming, it's filled with stuff to do, and it's one of the only games where having wait timers makes sense. Building a house, how long is this going to take? A day, brilliant. It'll happen the next day. Why? Because the game works in real time. So that makes, like, the dude's not going to build a house there and then for you, is he? No, it's going to take a day. I mean, a day, that's amazing. Tom, he works wonders. Wonders, that lad. But yeah, it's wonderful, and especially with the new update. I mean, the new update gave you the ability, right? And this is a dark secret I'm going to let you in on now. The new update that they just had for this game, which added like Happy Home Designer and Amiibo bollocks. The new update lets you sell your village and start a new one with the profits, kind of like Prison Architect. And my village, which I love and cared for years, sold for 31 million bells. I've never been happier. So now I've started the new game with infinite money, and I'm like going, yeah! Just going to people and throwing money at them. Literally, I go to people and like just like stop dropping coins. I'm like, yeah, making it rain, and then just run away. I'm a terrible mayor of the second village, and the money has clearly gone to my head. But you know, it's nice to get away from the chaos and madness of the world and throw coins at a badger. Number 62. Dishonored. Dishonored is one of those games that you kind of remember liking, but don't really remember much about. I went back and had what another crack at it recently, before the new one came out, and oh my god, what what a wonderful world that game built. I mean, it's dark as fuck. It's a miserable fucking place, but it's so rich and detailed and cold. It's such a cold world they built with nothing works and everyone's miserable, but I want to spend time there. It's kind of like England in that regard. You know, it's just a dark, damp, miserable, dark place with lots of people getting stabbed for being different. But you like it because it feels it's home. You know, it's home. Number 61. Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. Rogue Spear is a game that wouldn't be made in this day and age. It can't be made. It's a very PC shooter. I mean, politically correct. I mean, like it's a shooter built for the PC because before you even fired a shot, you were given a map. You were given a map of the place you were going, and you planned out you and 3 other teams' plans. Like you actually planned out every single step of everything you would do. You had everybody waiting. You said go, and then they'll flashbang the room or do whatever. Like. You actually properly set up what everybody would do. And you draw their lines, you say, go from this point to this point to this point to this point. Wait at that point and wait for my call. And then you'd call and then you'd send all the right people off. And everything was planned and perfect. And then you'd get to the place and it would fuck up immediately. Every fucking time. Why did I bother doing that? But, what a wonderful, wonderful game. I mean, one hit kills you. It was a very different game when I played it first. What I was used to running in with 1 million ammo going, yeah! And this was like, you've got 1 bullet in your gun, and if you sneeze, you die. It's vicious. But you start getting good at it, and you start learning how to just put all your teams in the right place, and learn about how to get through and do all the... Just get behind the terrorists and focus on the good intel. And then it throws a level at you where you can't be seen, or you lose. And you don't have a radar, and everything is pain and misery and suffering. And the feeling of finishing that level after, I believe, 8 months of playing. Well, I was littler back then, but still, it was many, many months. And finally finishing that level, I went, yeah, and punched the air. And I had like a little overhang above my desk, and I smashed my hand into it, and pain. And agony, and I remember that pain and agony, but also feeling really, 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 really proud of myself and happy. It was like a severely tricky wank. That's what Rainbow Six Rogue Spear is. It's a really tricky wank that pays off. More tomorrow.